Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So XRP had a bit of a recovery yesterday. I have it up here on the hourly. XRP right now trading at about 94 cents. We did see a high for XRP. It did come up as high as about $1.06 yesterday evening, and then it was just kind of meandering in this level here right now, trading at about 94 cents, give or take. You can see right now we are coming out of this, and it's looking as though this is forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Again, this is on the hourly. I still do think we are going to see a lot of sideways trading before we really kind of break out of this, unfortunately. Here, let me move this out and throw Fibonacci right on here. So this was the new low here, guys, set just a couple of days ago. XRP did hit around 65 cents. V bottomed out of it, but now you guys can see we are just kind of hovering in and around this area here, which is the point 263. So we've got a ways to go up, and I was afraid about this, that we would see some sideways movement for XRP before we really kind of break out. Now, if that is the worst that happens, so be it. I mean, this is better than seeing the price completely collapse. This quick movement upward, the V correction, really does signify that there still is some oomph in the market at this moment in time. And we are seeing the same kind of pattern formations on charts like Bitcoin. We can see this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Again, for Bitcoin, Bitcoin right now trading at about 37,400. And as I was mentioning, the entire crypto space seeing some green today. So, the market cap still hovering around 1.5 trillion, give or take. Bitcoin dominance has gone up above that 40% level. So Bitcoin dominance right now at about 44.2%. And you guys can see mostly green on the board within the last 24 hours for the majority of cryptocurrencies. So a positive move up, and it's interesting to hear the narrative from China versus the United States of America. Guys, I saw this from Michael at Val5 Links. While the Bitcoin miners in China reel from the after effects of the country's latest crypto attack, miners on the other side of the planet are reportedly forming a new council to promote sustainable mining. So this is an article from Crypto Slate. Involved in the cause are North American mining companies, Bitcoin firms, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk himself. So here is what Elon Musk tweeted out. Spoke with North American Bitcoin miners. They committed to publish current and planned renewable usage and to ask miners worldwide to also do so. He went on to say this is potentially promising. So Bitcoin's energy problem, mining for the uninitiated, uses up a massive computing system that solves millions of complex calculations each second to validate transactions on the Bitcoin network. This is what we know as proof of work. This, however, requires massive amounts of energy for the maintenance, cooling, running of the machine, so on and so forth. And so what is happening now around the world? Bitcoin maximalists are scrambling, and a lot of these institutions that have kind of now that kind of have a vested interest in Bitcoin as a store of value are kind of scrambling to find what they're calling a green solution. I know we've heard Kevin O'Leary talk about blood coins in the past, blood Bitcoin versus a more sustainably mined Bitcoin. These are some of the examples that we're starting to see. And now, because the narrative is switched in China, this is all shaking out in a way that I wasn't actually planning on seeing this shake out. I mean, we knew that Bitcoin was never going to be utilized for payments, and that greener, more efficient cryptocurrencies can solve that problem a lot easier. But now there's this whole thing that, oh, okay, is our Bitcoin going to be using renewable energy? Are we going to have a negative impact? How much of a negative impact are we going to have on the environment? So on and so forth. So there's all these kinds of tweaks that I feel are kind of just happening at the last minute where we're seeing this occur. So we heard about the narrative in China, and guys, even when you just go to CoinDesk, the main page here, just take a look at this. This isn't the start of OPEC new Bitcoin mining council, just wants to promote greener practices, members say. I'm just going to read some of these headlines here. We've got Ray Dalio saying, I have some Bitcoin. Down here, it says Kevin O'Leary doubles down on green Bitcoin. So we are noticing this shift very, very quickly. This shift occur very quickly. 3 things you need to know about China's crypto crackdown. So that, I'm sure, also talks about what China's doing and the impact there. We've got another one here. Hedge fund billionaire Ray Dalio has officially bought Bitcoin. So that's big news just in and of itself. But anyway, not only this, we've also heard over the last several weeks major American banks saying, we're getting into Bitcoin. So it's almost like the shift has happened and they didn't quite think about the environmental consequences, and now we're kind of faced with this, oh, okay, so now our Bitcoin has to be green. All right, now we'll rejig and we'll kind of figure it out. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next few months shape up. Of course, with cryptocurrencies like XRP, we have nothing to worry about, guys, as XRP hodlers. A cryptocurrency that is green is definitely going to prove to be more usable for the global financial system, no doubt about that. Guys, I saw this from DJ Peter Vass. This is on AWS Marketplace, so Amazon Marketplace, on XRP-L node server. The XRP ledger is a decentralized cryptographic ledger powered by a network of peer-to-peer servers. The XRP ledger is the home of XRP, a digital asset designed to bridge the many different currencies in use worldwide. The XRP ledger's biggest difference from most cryptocurrencies is that it uses a unique consensus algorithm, so it definitely explains a little bit about what it is if you are interested in using this. And Code Creator over here is basically giving you guys an easy way so that you don't have to build one from scratch if you're not technologically savvy. So Code Creator is a specialized high-tech software developer and support vendor for AWS cloud computing. Code Creator deploys fast, elastic, and dependable virtual applications for Amazon's web service with one-click deployment. Code Creator's virtual servers removes the painstaking work involved in building and configuring cloud apps. So this is, it's looking like he's selling this for the every person who does want to run an XRP-L node server. If you aren't technologically savvy to be able to put that together yourself. I know for me, I'm not one of those people. Quantifiable XRP here saying, who wants to start a GoFundMe for the XRP community XRP-L node? I'm sure there are plenty of community members that would love to have their hand in funding a node. And so he calculated it, and it looks like it costs about $1,600 in the year to run this thing. Do we think the XRP community can find $1,600 in the couch cushions to fund a year of running an XRP-L node and help further decentralize the network? And so here are just the math calculations with regards to that. I find it interesting that you can buy these things now. People are putting them together for others who want to participate. Of course, running an XRP-L node just means less centralization for the XRP-L. So I wanted to thank DJ Peter Vass here for pointing us to this. Guys, I also saw this from the Wrath of Kahneman. In today's Kuwait Times, Ripple training is mentioned as part of the KFH's Forza program, aligned with their desire to reinforce their leadership in digitalization. And so the article is here if you guys want to check that out. But I'm just going to read you guys this highlighted paragraph here. Al Omar added that Forza program includes advanced training programs, workshops, and field visits to the largest and most prominent global technology firms such as Microsoft, Google, Apple, and Ripple, among others. So it's interesting to note Ripple is in this list amongst Microsoft, Google, and Apple. So it goes on to say the employees also visited laboratories of digital transformation in prominent American universities, such as the University of Berkeley in California. So Wrath of Kahneman just mentions here in his tweet thread, to clarify, KFH's Forza program aligns with their desire to digitalize, and somehow Ripple has been involved, either through trainings or visits along with Microsoft, Google, and Apple. And then XRP Brandman says that he found it here on their site in paragraph number 3, KFH employees visit Silicon Valley as part of this program that they are promoting. So a connection there with Ripple, one of the companies in Silicon Valley that definitely have a big influence and that they're promoting through this Forza program. So I wanted to thank Wrath of Kahneman for pointing us to that. And court dates, more court dates are coming up, guys. This is from XRP_Crow at Stetus here on Twitter. SEC versus Ripple Labs incoming events, or rather upcoming events, as of May 21st. So this was updated May 21st. Today, May 25th, Ripple's response to the SEC's May 18th letter, filed under seal for a discovery conference concerning privileged materials. On the 27th, we have to the SEC's motion to strike Ripple's lack of due process and fair notice affirmative defense. This will be the SEC's reply to Ripple's opposition brief. Also on the 27th, the SEC's combined letter motion, so to seal the non-public SEC correspondence contained in Ripple's opposition to the motion to strike, and 2, in opposition to Ripple's motion to seal the legal memoranda. Then we got May 28th over here, so it's going this way. SEC's reply to Ripple's response to the SEC's May 18th letter. The 2021 letter motion filed under seal for a discovery conference concerning privileged materials. June 4th, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson's reply to the SEC's opposition brief to their motion to dismiss. And finally, June 10th, Ripple's response to the SEC's motion to seal the non-public SEC correspondence contained in Ripple Labs' opposition to the motion to strike. So this is, at least at the time of this update, which was May 21st, what is going to happen in court. We could get a surprise settlement. Who knows? But these are the important dates, at least now, scheduled for the SEC versus Ripple case. Wanted to thank XRP_Crow just for pointing us to that. And I've got Stefan Huber on Twitter. I did a video with regards to Stefan's thoughts about an early settlement with regards to the Ripple and SEC lawsuit. A settlement potentially happening next week. Well, it would happen after Memorial Day. I'll link that video up here if you guys didn't catch it. And I know I got a lot of flack yesterday. Here's the video. Here's the comment section, because I did mention that my thoughts were that Stefan lived in Germany because he speaks German. Of course, I was incorrect. He lives in Zug, which is how it's pronounced, not Zug or Zug. It's spelled Z-U-G. But he lives in Switzerland, and I just wanted to clarify that. It is pronounced Zug. So, anyway, back to this. Stefan also saying, with regards to Gary Gensler's testimony on May 6th, the clearance and settlement, not the kind of settlement you're thinking of, the longer it takes for a trade to settle, the more risk the market assumes. The good news is we now have the technology to further shorten the settlement cycles. So we always have to remember where we're going with this, right? There's a lot of debate as to whether Gary Gensler is going to look favorably upon Ripple. This was a statement posted by Chairman Gary Gensler of the SEC on May 6th. And as you guys can see, I won't read the full thing, but as you guys can see, if you read through this and you have been doing your research with regards to Ripple and XRP, you're noticing things, or at least I am here, like market plumbing and plumbing. The word plumbing in quotes. This is not the first time I have heard this term being used when discussing the new financial system. Brad Garlinghouse has also mentioned it, that they are the plumbers and that they are utilizing their technology, namely RippleNet, to facilitate a new financial system. I also just wanted to go down here with focus on what Stefan was talking about. This quote down here: the longer it takes for a trade to settle, the more risk our markets assume. The good news is, though it will take a lot of work by many parties, we now have the technology to further shorten the settlement cycles, not only to the settlement cycle we had a century ago, but even to same-day settlement. Same-day settlement, of course, we know XRP can settle instantaneously. We know that XRP and RippleNet have been on the radar of many central banks around the world. There are already a lot of central banks that have partnered with Ripple, and so in a lot of ways, it's just a matter of time before we see this transition kind of happen. I don't know if you guys also remember that Brad Garlinghouse had a couple of years back when he talked about risk exposure, and because XRP settles so quickly. So this also just goes to this point that Gary Gensler mentioned here in this May 6th statement: the longer it takes for a trade to settle, the more risk our markets assume. So that just speaks volumes, right? Brad Garlinghouse echoed the same sentiment a couple of years ago when he was talking about, settlement and the instantaneous settlement, the basic instantaneous settlement of XRP. Would you rather have the volatility of the SWIFT system, which takes about 5 business days to settle, even if it is the volatility of a fiat to fiat, which is way less volatile but more time? Or would you rather have the volatility of a digital asset like XRP, which is, yes, highly volatile, but if you take that high volatility for 3 seconds or low volatility for 5 days, you still would likely see a lot more of a price discrepancy over the longer term. So again, just to that point, gotta thank Stefan Huber again for pointing that out. And this, guys, consensus is happening. And guess what an IMF official said? This from Michael at Val5 Links posted this coming from CoinDesk: a world with more than one reserve currency is a more stable world. So coming from IMF official Tommaso Mancini Grifoli, he said the world would be more stable if it diversified from the dollar, but also that crypto was too young and volatile to be a global reserve, at least at this moment in time. A world with more than one reserve currency is a more stable world. So this is from Mancini Grifoli, a division chief for the International Monetary Fund, and he said this just yesterday. Mancini was responding to a question from CoinDesk Managing Director Emily Parker during CoinDesk TV's coverage of Consensus 2021, the company's annual conference that brings experts together and influencers in cryptocurrency, global finance, and more. Parker had asked whether the US should be concerned that China's underdevelopment central bank digital currency, or CBDC, could threaten the dominance of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. And here's what he said: "I'm not saying this is the case for the US dollar," explained Mancini, whose full title is Division Chief of IMF Monetary and Capital Markets Payments and Infrastructure Team. And he goes on to say, "This is a theoretical argument that underpins the greater stability of the world with multiple reserve currencies. So I think from an international perspective that there will be more than one is a welcomed position," Mancini said. He added that the world already has multiple reserve currencies, including the dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen. So he's ultimately saying, the world needs to have stability, and if we are too focused on one global reserve currency being even the dominant one, even though there are other ones, this is just not good for the stability of the economy worldwide. Note up here that he also said it probably won't be a cryptocurrency because cryptos are too young and volatile. So perhaps not a cryptocurrency right now. In its infancy, of course, guys, we are still at the beginning of this journey. Just remember how long it can take in some cases. You guys remember this clip? Reposted courtesy of Jameel K's here. What's the chicken and the egg? Be reminded, always think of the end game, guys. Is this tech and asset class going to be around for the next 10 years? Everything rotates around payments and platforms focused on what will prosper.
So it's kind of chicken and egg. You have to create a marketplace. And right now we have about 150, 200 exchanges around the world that trade in XRP. A lot of it, as you say, is very shallow trading by individuals, and that is not the use case that we are pursuing. What we are pursuing is the use of XRP as a financial asset by sophisticated institutions as a bridging mechanism. So does this hurt or harm? Well, it creates a lot of noise, and we certainly don't want that much noise, but we're waiting. And for example, this last quarter, the bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions who will start to use it for wholesale financial usage, that's when the turning point will come.
So there is going to be a turning point. XRP not really meant for the retail trader. The volatility for the entire cryptocurrency market would have to subside, and I think we are going to see markets subside in terms of volatility eventually. Like I mentioned the other day, I forget who said it now, but it's going to be, once the crypto market becomes more traditional, like we see the stock market, for example, when more products, it was Brian Brooks, when more products are introduced, we will slowly see the volatility die down. I have a very good feeling, though, that in the meantime, XRP is going to break away from the typical cryptocurrency market if it is utilized in a real world capacity, that we're all kind of assuming it will be. It could break away from the rest of the market. It won't go with the ebbs and flows, the traditional ebbs and flows like we've seen with typical cryptocurrencies. Of course, it would have to be a high enough price in order to facilitate these large types of payments. And we're already getting a hint, right, from the SEC, Gary Gensler, right? The longer it takes of trade to settle, the more risk our markets assume. XRP, clearly one of the chosen cryptocurrencies that can settle fast, cheap. Not only that, guys, it's environmentally friendly. Part of the narrative that we've now seen switching gears in this current crypto landscape. So the possibilities are looking positive. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.